We're back with Emily Kane. She's with District 15, newly elected. So that was an experience for you when you ran. You did, I know we talked a little bit. Give us an idea again. I'm not sure if I asked you that question, but why you decided to run? What was the real? Was there anything in specific that you felt like, okay, this is the reason I'm getting into it for this reason? Yeah.
I enjoy our political process in New Mexico, and the fact that we have a citizens legislature, to me, is wonderful. My representative informed me that he was running for senator. And I immediately asked, well, who's running for your seat? And he said, I want to talk with you about that. It's something that I had considered down the line, you know, way down the line, maybe 10 years from now. But open seats only come around every once in a while. And I'm wired to serve. I've spent over 20 years serving in the fire department. Before that, I worked for a small rural ambulance. And, you know, my whole life has been about public service. So to me, serving in our citizens legislature is just another type of service. It was a pretty easy decision.
So it was not something. And you were with Emerging Mexico. You're a graduate there, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, so we had Professor Sanders here. She's your head there. And we were talking about a lot of the education that they provide for you guys. And so I'm sure that was beneficial.
It was very beneficial, sure.
And we have several of their candidates coming through here, and we invite them all the time. So you decided to run, and then you put your name on the ballot, and you came across an issue there where you couldn't run because you were a firefighter, I think?
Well, initially, I absolutely, and I should get this message out there, I definitely asked permission before I put my name out on the ballot, and was told it won't be a problem, don't worry about it, it's not going to impact anything. I have a wonderful job as a firefighter. I'm a fire captain at my station now. And I just thought this would be a great way to bring working class perspective to the legislature, as well as some of the expertise that we have. You pointed out earlier, talking about health care, that those are big issues for our state. And I think what some people forget is that firefighters are healthcare providers. That is the first thing that we do. 80% of our 911 calls are for medical emergency or motor vehicle accidents. So I felt that I was well suited to address the issues. And so I took a chance. I put my name on the ballot, and everything was going along fine. And then I guess somebody dug up an old provision that had been done 20 years earlier and said, oh, by the way, we found this, and now we think that we shouldn't allow you to be a candidate. And at that point, I consulted with a few people and decided that, you know, my freedom of speech and my right to serve in our government was very important.
So you were asked to drop out at that point because your name was already on the ballot, correct?
Well, I was, how can I say it nicely?
You were running?
I was threatened that, if I didn't, I was going to receive some disciplinary action.
Having to do with your fire department and all that. Anyhow, you overcame that and you ran. I think you're still working through all that. And but the whole reason why I brought that up, because others that are watching, they'll say, well, what does she do exactly that we need to learn from? And I think that's the reason why I brought it up. Well, I'm not trying to bash the city or anybody
I don't want to
else
bash them either, but I mean, I had to file a restraining order just to get through the primary. And then at the end of the primary, I was delighted and sort of surprised to find out that I'd won. And so at that point, it was, well,
the judge agreed with your position there.
Later, after the primary, we had the district court judge rule, and they supported my position 100%. I believe municipalities and/or counties have the right to restrict participation in their own political process, but they're really overstepping their authority to try to restrict a private citizen from running for state legislature. And I think we've got that settled now.
I'm glad you did, and look, you are here. You are in the legislature, and I'm sure you're going to do a lot. Tell us a little bit where you grew up. And so you came here in Albuquerque many years ago, right? You were up north, I think, in Taos, right?
Yeah, I first came to the Taos County area. That's where I served in Taos County Ambulance. Just did the little New Mexico dream. You know, it was a beautiful place. Build a house, get some sheep and goats, try ranching for a while.
A simple life.
Yeah, have a simple life for a while. Drop off the grid, and then slowly kind of interact and get back into the community. I love the people of northern New Mexico, and the grace and the welcoming attitudes. It was just a great experience to be up there.
And you moved to Albuquerque then?
I moved to Albuquerque to pursue a paramedic license to become a more professional EMT.
You went to school and stuff, right?
That was in 1990.
Wow, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, to change gears, but you want to talk about MS, I think something to do with one of your family members, your husband, I think, right?
Yeah,
We have a couple of minutes left here, so
I've
we'll
always
go.
been a good advocate for disability and for discrimination in general, and I think people tend to forget that the disabled face a lot of discrimination. I got to find out more firsthand when my husband, who has MS but has never suffered very much disability as a result of small things that only he would notice, he had a huge relapse this spring. And he actually had to spend 30 days in a nursing facility, which broke my heart. It was difficult to deal with that. And now we're working on rehabilitation and helping to get him better. But I think the experience was good because now I have the real empathy that I need to have to help represent people with disabilities in the legislature and make sure that I'm being a good advocate. I definitely understand some of the things that they're dealing with, some of the red tape that we put in the way. And I will do everything I can to help make sure that they do have access to good health care and no discrimination and access to good jobs and education.
So your future, if you feel that's your future calling there, you would want to do something as far as educating people more about it? Because a lot of people don't know about everything. You know, they tend to, well, I don't know that much about it. But it takes someone like you to bring it to light. You see a lot of celebrities at times bringing, like Michael J. Fox bringing in the issue with Parkinson's and stuff, and it helps the situation. You raise awareness, it raise a lot of money. You could probably help some of the organizations. I'm sure there's local organizations, right?
I sure hope to do that. Yeah. One of the areas of interest that I have is diving and teaching people to dive who have disabilities. And I've always thought that one of the things that New Mexico could do with having an Air Force base and a VA hospital is provide more therapeutic underwater treatments. I know Cody Unser, and I know her about her foundation, and would love to see something develop here in New Mexico. I know we're a desert, but all you need is a swimming pool, and you can help people have some enthusiasm and therapeutic benefits from being in that environment. So we'll see.
Yeah, it was great. We'd love for you to come back and talk a little bit. Anytime you have things you're working on, legislate. We have about 30 seconds left, less than that. So we'll have you back, okay? And then anytime you have any specific issues that you want to talk about, I'm open to it.
We haven't really even talked about some of the great ideas I have for the next session, so I will be back.
Absolutely, we'll have you back, and then we want you to come back anyways. So this is the show is about education and all that. So appreciate you coming in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's the end of our show. We'll see you next week. Current information, even though I studied your